protocol. Avery Thomas had an ankle.
Kyle, you guys were down.
Was it just the main team focus at halftime when nothing was going right for you guys?
I mean, you had no other choice. I mean, it was nice that we were starting out with the ball in the third, so it gave us some hope in that way. And also, it being a 17-point game was encouraging. It looked like it should have been worse. That's definitely how it felt. That's how the numbers looked. But we were only down 17, which that's not too much. But you got to start playing a lot better in order for that not to be too much. And came out in the third quarter, and we finished with a field goal. I definitely thought that wasn't enough. But then I think our D stopped them on a fourth down the next time. Then we got a touchdown. Then I want to say the next drive was the turnover. And then just like that, it was just three drives. And I think by the end of the third, it was a tie game. And then it was like, all right, it's the first quarter again, but it's the fourth. Let's start.
What did you see on the IU's long catch, and how did that sort of just change things for you guys?
I mean, they had a safety sitting in the middle of the field. Brock did an awesome job recognizing it. We had Debo on a crossing route, and that safety cut it, and Brock made the right read and just launched it. But the corner did an awesome job staying on top. I mean, the safety cuts, and that means there's no one in the middle, but the corner was aware of it, so he stayed on top. I was worried that for it to be a pick when it's like that. Brock makes the right read, but then he launches it, and BA just did a hell of a job going up for it. So it wasn't going to be a pick, and then he came down with the catch, which was huge. I was never able to see whether he was down or not. They said he was, so it's great we punched it in later.
Kyle, what did that play do for you guys? Just
I mean, anytime you get a big explosive one like that, it makes it a lot easier. We felt we could go on drives. We just had to get it going. I think we had 4 in the first half. I want to say we scored on 2 of them, had a pick on 1, and then punted on the other. And I mean, credit to their defense. I mean, they mix things up. They play really hard. We thought if we could get it going and make it a game on both sides, it would be a matter of time before we could score some points. But the way their offense was going, their defense was doing a couple things to get us off the field. But once BA made that play, it kind of unlocked it with such an explosive and kind of unlocked the whole team, because right after getting that turnover that I believe Gibb forced, that was huge. And right after that, you could feel the whole momentum with our players on our sideline in the stadium kind of flip, and we felt it was on after that.
What did you do
so hard in the first half to stop the run? What did you see?
I mean, we knew they were a good running team going in, but it only takes a couple guys. I mean, we had a couple 8-man fronts, and there's definitely 2 that I saw that we got one guy out of a gap, and when that happens, you get right to that middle third player, and I mean, that's 15 at the best. And then they had a real good call on that reverse. That was probably their best look that they got us in. But we had a couple of missed tackles, a couple of guys out of gaps, and it was it's hard to win like that. But the guys tightened it up there in the second half and got it done.
What did you talk about at halftime? What adjustments did you want to make heading into the second half?
We just go over, we come up with 8 plays to go over with the offense and how we're going to start it out and go with them. The defense goes, and they all meet and they break up, and they talk about all their stuff from positions, and we just pulled them up before. And so guys, it's only 17 points. Been a lot of football games where you're down 17 points or starting with the ball. It's plenty of time to come back, plenty of points to come back, but regardless of any of that stuff, we're not going out like this. We got to be a lot more aggressive here in the second half, and in everything we do, offensively, defensively, special teams. I thought we switched up a little bit more, tightened up on some things, with some pressures, some man coverage, and guys didn't want today to be the last day, and we put ourselves in a hole, but they played like it in the second half, and we were able to get the ball bounced the right way, and we made up for what we did in the first
How
half.
big of an impact was Brock scrambling?
What's that?
Brock scrambling in the second half. How big of an impact was that for you guys?
I thought it was the difference between winning and losing. He made some big plays with his legs, getting out of the pocket, moving the chains in some first downs, getting some explosives. And he competed his ass off today, and it wasn't easy for any of us, but he kept grinding, and it was unbelievable there in the second half.
You may or may not have heard people talk about how Shanahan teams don't come back. They have to play up front. Brock Purdy can't come back. Does that strike you in this moment? Would he, like, hey, that's over now in your mind?
I mean, that's up to you guys to decide. I never thought it had started, and then, I mean, coached a long time, guys play a long time. I get some of those circumstances, but I've never felt like we didn't have a team who could come back or win a game like that.
Coach,
Had to do it today when it mattered the most.
What are your initial impressions, Kyle, of going to be going to the Super Bowl playing for the team that beat you there 4 years ago?
I haven't had a lot of time to think about that. I didn't watch any of their game. wasn't sure who won it until someone told me right before we went out. But I mean, they're a hell of a team. They got a hell of a coach, hell of a quarterback, hell of a defense. Haven't got to see him much this year just because we haven't had a lot of crossover tape, but we already have a pretty good idea how it's going to look. They've been doing it for a while, and since we met them in 19, it seems like they've been there every year since. And I've been trying really hard to get back to that moment in a close number of times, and this time we got it done. And it's been these 2 weeks to prepare and make sure it's a hell of a game.
What was your message in there after the game?
Not a very good one. I was exhausted. It took for everyone so long to get in. Then it was really hard to talk because everyone had their family and kids in there, and I struggle to talk when I can't use all the words I want to use. But it was my message. I was just so proud of the guys. I mean, these last 2 weeks. I mean, we've had some talented teams. We do have a talented team right now, but that just the character and the grit of the guys there. I mean, you could see it on their faces at halftime. I could see it on them all week. Our guys got a lot of love for each other, and every year when the season's over, it's always a new team the next year, regardless of how many times people return. I mean, how many people return, and our guys didn't want this to be the last day, and we had to really fight for it to make that happen, but we pulled it off, and couldn't be more proud of the group.
Brock is not usually obviously known for his legs. Do you think there's any element of surprise at how efficient and productive he was with that?
No, I think Brock's been scrambling and making plays ever since we got him in. All you got to do is go back to the first game versus Miami, and Brock makes a lot of plays with his legs. Did it in college too. Makes a lot of off schedules. So, and I thought it looked like how Brock looks every time he plays.
Kyle, was Christian okay at the end of the game there? Is he doing something?
Yeah, I think he got. I mean, he said he got like a little bit of stinger when he went down there. I mean, that's just what his words were. He had to come out for a play, and I know Elijah went in there and scored, but I know at the end, Christian was good to go back.
Kyle, Dan Campbell's obviously known for taking risks and going forward on fourth down. How big was it a swing in momentum when you were able to stop him on that fourth and two?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, both of them. I mean, to make it a 3-score game and us to be able to hold it to 2 scores, especially the way the game was going. I mean, I felt like we kind of blew it when we started out with the ball and we didn't get a touchdown. We got 3 points. So for us to hold them there and then not to get any points, which you stop them on fourth down, you really look at that almost the same as a turnover. So that was huge by us today. But I mean, you live and die with that stuff. It would have been really hard to deal with it if they moved the chains on that 4th and 2 also. So that's why everything comes down to certain plays, and what happens in those plays you gotta live with.
The long ball, the BA, is that how you practiced it pretty much?
I mean, that definitely is the read. When the middle third safety cuts the high cross, that's where the ball's supposed to go. Last time he did that, I think, was versus Arizona at home. I think it was like week 5 or something. And they did it again. They cut. They threw it to BA, but the corner was on top, and BA went up and made a hell of a catch. And it's really almost exactly what happened today too. I mean, when they cut, usually the middle's open, but the corner was disciplined and stayed on top, so you couldn't run by him. But Brock read the defense, gave BA a shot, and BA made him right.
Coach, just going back to the 4th and short about that, Kevin, you already explained it, but were you shocked just given the situation that he decided to go for it instead of opting for the field goal?
Not really. I mean, I think that's pretty good. That's how they've done it most of the year, and I think that's one of the reasons why they were here. So, like, I mean, you win a lot of games making some of those decisions, and then you make some decisions and you lose them. I mean, I don't think it always comes down to that. There's lots of plays that happen in the game, but I mean, that's the decision that we all have to make, and it doesn't surprise me because he's made a lot of those decisions throughout the year that won them a lot of games also.
What sense did you get from your players? Was it calm even when you're down 17? Was it a little of urgency? What mood did you get from those guys as this was starting?
I think we were just pissed off. I think guys were extremely pissed. I mean, that first half wasn't just that we were down by 17. It was the way we were down. They were kind of having their way in the run game. We weren't getting much in our run game either. And we didn't want to go out like that. We didn't know. We dug ourselves in a big hole, but it wasn't just talking about how to win this game. It was talking about how to start playing right. We got too much respect for our team, and that would have been a real rough way to end it if we couldn't play better with our group. And that's why I was so proud of the guys. They didn't really care about anything except finding a way to win. And you could see it on their faces. You could see it at halftime, and you could see it in that 3rd quarter, and you see it all the way to the end of the game.
Kyle, it was an extraordinary. It was a.
Early thoughts on a Super Bowl 54 rematch?
None. I'm excited that we're going there. And happy for the Chiefs too. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight probably with my family and everything, and a come in a little bit of slow motion tomorrow and figure out all the Super Bowl tickets, all the traveling and stuff. That takes a lot of time for the players and their families, and the coaches will start getting to go on Kansas City while they do all that, and probably give the guys a couple days off, and then we'll get to our game plan and practicing either by Wednesday or Thursday.
Kyle, Fred Warner's been good all year, but he had an extraordinary game tonight. What's your thoughts of Fred tonight?
Fred, Fred played like to me like a NFL defensive MVP. He's played at that level to me. He does every year. And there's always a group of guys who can deserve it, but Fred is always one of those guys. And you hope when you have players like that, they do it in these type of games, and Fred did, and that's one of the reasons we're still playing.
Branch, last one.
I was just gonna ask, why do you anticipate being in slow motion tomorrow morning?
Because you guys won't let me get out of here. I know guys are gonna have some fun tonight, and you do have 2 weeks, and we're gonna have a meeting with all the ticket guys and stuff, and so we'll put it off a little bit longer. Lots of families in there and stuff, so let the guys sleep in a little bit for treatment, but we'll still get our work in.
All right, guys. Purdy will be next.
All right, guys. Thanks.